Way Too Early Top 25 by Brett McMurphy and Action Network. And what is the latest steam on Jim Harbaugh according to Sam Webb at Michigan 247? Welcome to episode 128 of College Football's Peek Around the Corner with your host, Greg Pflugar. You might ask, why are you covering a way too early top 25 when the championship game hasn't even been played yet for the 2022 season coming up in a couple of days? Because we cover everything in college football, because we love everything in college football, and that includes the way too early top 25 polls. If you love everything in college football, subscribe to our channel, share the video with your family and friends, and smash that like button if you like our content. Let's not waste any more time. Let's first talk about the way too early top 25 from Brett McMurphy's Action Network. He does say as the months go on, they're going to be giving out more up-to-date way too early top 25s. We're going to be doing it ourselves here at Peek Around the Corner. But this, you can call this the way too early top 25. Put down your comments in the comment section below the video. Let me know your thoughts. What schools do you think Brett McMurphy and Action Network have ranked too high or ranked too low? Or what teams he didn't have at all in the top 25 that you think should be there in the way too early top 25? Let's not waste any more time. The Trojans at number 25. Last season they were 12-2. They defeated UTSA in the Cure Bowl. They play Kansas State. That's one of the schedule highlights at Kansas State on September 9th. Trojans 25. UCLA Bruins come in at 24. The freshman Dante Moore, is he going to start right away? I think he will. Brett McMurphy and Action Network's got them at 24. Last season they were 9-4. Lost to the Pitt in the Sun Bowl. They play at Oregon State, at USC, at Utah. A very difficult schedule for 2023 inside their conference for the UCLA Bruins. Number 23, Action Network has North Carolina Tar Heels with their fabulous quarterback, Dre Make, unbelievable. Their schedule highlight games are September 2nd against South Carolina. They play at home against my beloved Minnesota Golden Gophers. They're at Clemson. They're at Pittsburgh. They're at home against Miami. North Carolina comes in at 23. They're going to have to improve that defense some way, somehow, to have a decent, consistent defense to win the ACC championship in 2023 behind that incredible quarterback. Number 22, the Pitt Panthers, Narduzzi's, got him in the top 25 in the way too early poll of Action Network. They were 9-4 again last season. 2 good seasons in a row. 2 years ago, they won the ACC championship. The Pitt Panthers last year 9-4. They defeated UCLA in the Sun Bowl. They play at West Virginia. The backyard brawl now goes to Morgantown for 2023, September 16th. They're at home against Cincinnati. They play at Notre Dame and home against Florida State. Those are their 2023 scheduled highlights. Coming in at number 21, the Kansas State Wildcats. In 2022, they won the Big 12 championship. They defeated TCU, and TCU is now playing for the national championship against Georgia. Kansas State schedule highlights: Troy in Missouri. Can Chris Kleiman get Kansas State back to the top 10 once again in 2023 like he's done this year? Unbelievable season. Unbelievable season 2022 for the Kansas State Wildcats. The way too early top 25 poll by Action Network has Louisville as number 20. Their schedule highlight games against Kentucky, Miami, Notre Dame, at Pittsburgh. Louisville Cardinals coaching change. Tulane Green Wave at number 19. They just won the Cotton Bowl. Their biggest bowl victory since 19 1935. Tulane Green Wave, 12-2. Defeated USC. Their schedule highlights: they're at home against Ole Miss, at home against UAB. They're on the road against Memphis, at East Carolina. Tulane Green Wave. Can they win the AAC championship yet again for the second year in a row? Number 18, the Tennessee Volunteers. We know in 2022, the AP poll, the coaches poll, none of them had the Tennessee Volunteers in the top 25. Well, look at me now. Look what Tennessee Volunteers did in 2022. Can they repeat? Action Network has them at 18-2. They play at home against Virginia, at Florida. They play at home against South Carolina, at home against Texas A&M. They're at home against Georgia. They do have a road game against Alabama, but that schedule lines up pretty well for Tennessee to make another big push for 2023. Action Network has Texas Longhorns as number 17. Ooh, I think Texas is back. I think they are. But now I'm starting to question Sarkisian all over again because of his actions prior to that bowl game. We covered it earlier in an early episode at Peek Around the Corner. They were 8-5. They lost to Washington in the Alamo Bowl. They're going to get Arch Manning, the number 1 high school quarterback in the nation. Him and Quinn Ewers are going to be battling for the starting job. But man, I do question Texas Longhorns culture with Sarkisian as head coach. I'm not so sure about that 17th ranking. Number 16, the Utah Utes. They won the Pac-12 championship. They did it. They did it again. They defeated USC twice this year in 2022. Action Network has Utah's number 16. They play against Florida. This time at home, they lost it was a crushing loss to Florida in Gainesville early in the 2022 season. This year they have them at home. They're at Baylor, another big non-conference game. They're at home against Oregon. They're at home against UCLA, but they're on the road to USC and at Washington and at Oregon State. USC number 16. USC Trojans number 15. Now, many of you probably think USC should be ranked higher. They got Caleb Williams coming back. They have a lot of offensive skill weapons coming back. But my, oh my, I agree with this 15th ranking for the USC Trojans. They have to improve on defense. They have to show improvement before I put them back in the top 10. They finish at 11-3. They lost to Tulane in the Cotton Bowl. I think this number 15th spot is correct. Just my opinion. They're on the road against Notre Dame. They're on the road at Oregon. But they have home games, UCLA, Utah, and Washington. Texas Tech. Wow. Number 14th in the way too early poll from Action Network. This might be the controversial pick. The Red Raider fans are saying, no, Greg, that's exactly where they should be. Their head coach, Joey McGuire, just signed a new extended contract, lot more money. Their big highlight non-conference game is at home against the Oregon Ducks. We're going to find out a lot about the Texas Raiders, Texas Tech Red Raiders, for the 2023 season when they play that September 9th game at home against Oregon. Here comes Oregon State, number 13, 10-3, Jonathan Smith. An incredible job last year. They defeated Florida, who didn't come to play at all. They wiped Florida out in this Vegas Bowl. They're on the road at Oregon, but Oregon State Beavers, with their new quarterback, DJ Ungale, their returning great running back, Martinez, that really good defense that ranked second in the Pac-12 last year. They're at home against UCLA, Utah, and Washington. Oregon State, number 13. I definitely have no problems with that. Notre Dame, Fighting Irish, Action Network, Brett McMurphy has them at 12. I would have them higher. I would have them in the top 8 starting the season. Why? Because of Sam Hartman, the number 1 transfer portal guy I believe in that whole 2022 transfer portal. Sam Hartman is a needle mover, an incredible career at Wake Forest. Now he gets to quarterback the Fighting Irish, who has a legitimate defense behind the head coach, Marcus Freeman. They're at home against the Buckeyes. They're at home against the Trojans. They're at home against the Panthers. They have one crucial road game at Clemson, who I believe is going to slide a little bit more. Notre Dame, number 12 here. I'd have them at least number 8 in the way too early poll. Number 11, the TCU Horned Frogs. They're going to have to find themselves a new quarterback. But other than that, can they get back in the top 10 for next season after coming off this championship game, which is going to be played in 2 days? I don't know. I do not know about this ranking. They're at home against Colorado and Deion Sanders. Deion Sanders opens the Colorado Buffalo, his career at Colorado, against TCU Horned Frogs. Wow. Wow, 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 on September 2nd. Number 10, the Oregon Ducks. Bo Nix is coming back. They do lose their offensive coordinator, Kenny Dillingham, as he takes the head coaching position at Arizona State. The Ducks, again, won 10 games. They defeated North Carolina in the Holiday Bowl. They're on the road against Texas Tech September 9th. Again, we're going to learn a lot about the Red Raiders and the Ducks for 2023 in that September 9th game. They're on the road against Utah. They're on the road against Washington Huskies. I don't have any problems with Oregon being ranked number 10 or Oregon State ranked number 13. But where are we going to see Washington in this rankings? So far, we haven't seen them, and I have them as my Pac-12 way too early champions. I'm predicting the Washington Huskies to win the Pac-12 championship. Where does Brett McMurphy have Washington? Number 9, Clemson. I think this is too high. I don't think they're going to win the ACC championship in 2023. I didn't think they were going to win the ACC championship in 2022. They proved me wrong, but the Clemson Tigers, 11-3 last year. They lost to Tennessee in the Orange Bowl. They're at home against Florida State. We're going to circle back to that game. They're on the road at Miami. They're at home against Notre Dame. On the road against their in-state rival, South Carolina. Clemson, number 9. I think that's a little bit too high. The Washington Huskies, number 8. On the road against Michigan State, at home against Oregon, on the road against Oregon State, on the road against USC, at home against Utah. Number 8, Washington Huskies. I would have them about number 7. I would have them about number 6 in my way too early poll, but this is a good spot for them. 11-2, they defeated Texas. Kalen DeBoer, the head coach, has got this team primed and ready to go. Ready to battle and win the Pac-12 championship and be a threat to get into the college football 4-team invitational. Put down your thoughts in the comment section. Let me know how crazy I am for being so high on the Washington Huskies in 2023. And this is another squad that I'm very high on. Very, very high on. The Penn State Nittany Lions, Singleton, Allen, they're coming back. Their running back duo is going to be electric next year. Outstanding. They're at home against West Virginia, at home against Iowa. They're on the road against Ohio State, but they're at home against Michigan. Penn State 11-2 last year. They won the Rose Bowl against Utah. I believe Penn State. They're going to be my way too early prediction. They're going to be my way too early Big Ten champions for the 2023 season. Let me know in the comment section how crazy I am. Number 6, LSU. 10-4 last year. They crushed Purdue in the Citrus Bowl. They're on the road against Alabama, on the road against Ole Miss. But other than that, all their difficult games are at home. LSU, I think they're going to make a big run next year. Big run next year in the SEC. The Buckeyes, 11-2, number 5 in Action Network. Brett McMurphy's way too early poll. They lost to Georgia in the college football playoff semifinal. They're on the road against Notre Dame, Michigan, Wisconsin, at home against Penn State. I do not think the Buckeyes are going to win the Big Ten championship next year for the third year in a row. That I said it. I don't think the Buckeyes are going to do it next year. We shall see. Number 5, I think it's a little bit too high of a ranking for the Buckeyes. They're going to be awfully talented. We know this. They're going to be powerful. We know this. But top 5 teams for 2023, I don't think so. Here's the Florida State Seminoles. And you know what? I agree. The Florida State Seminoles, number 4 in the way too early poll for 2023, according to Action Network, 10-3 last year. They defeated Oklahoma in the Cheez-It Bowl. They're at home against LSU. Well, that's in Orlando, Florida. They're at home against their rival Miami of Florida. They're on the road against Florida. I don't think Florida's going to be much next year at all. I got them at the bottom, near the bottom of the SEC. They're on the road against Clemson. That's the game. Just a few minutes ago, I said we circle back at. That's the game that decides the ACC. That's the game that I think decides who's going to get into the 4-team invitational. And I think the Seminoles have got the Clemson's number for 2023, returning their quarterback, Mike Norvell. This was the season, 2022, where they took the hard jump up, the difficult jump up. Next year, they're going to take another jump up, and it's not going to be as hard for the Seminoles. Norvell has got that program rolling. He did great in the transfer portal. They got Cypress, the great cornerback of Virginia. The Seminoles are on the come. They're ready for next year. I truly believe that. I agree. I was shocked to see Action Network had them this high, but I agree with this poll, this ranking. FSU, Florida State Seminoles, number 4. Michigan Wolverines, they're going to be stacked next year. No question about it. No question about it. But man, there is uneasiness about what Jim Harbaugh is going to eventually do here in the next few days, the next few hours. We do not know. Is he going to take an NFL job soon after that NFL season is over, regular season is over, tomorrow on Sunday? We do not know. Michigan, number 3. I think they should be there, but we'll see what happens with Jim Harbaugh. They're on the road against Michigan State, on the road against Penn State. They're at home against Ohio State. Can they win the Big Ten championship game for the 3rd year in a row? Can they get there? I say they won't because I've got the Penn State Nittany Lions. Let me know how crazy I am in the comments section. Alabama, number 2, according to Action Network, Brett McMurphy. They're at home against Texas. They're at home against Ole Miss. They're at home against Arkansas. They're at home against Tennessee. They're at home against LSU. They're on the road against Auburn. I don't think Auburn will be a threat to them. They're on the road against Texas A&M. I don't think Texas A&M is going to be on a threat to them. I guess what I'm trying to say to you all is Alabama Crimson Tide for the 2023 season. They have the schedule to just run the table. Absolutely run the table. Alabama will be in the 4-team invitational next year with a bullet, number 2 spot. I have no problem with that at all. And Georgia, number 1. They're going to have a new quarterback, but my goodness, they will be back. I have no problem with Georgia being number 1. They're probably, I say probably, going to be the 2-time reigning, defending, undisputed college football champions. We'll see what happens on Monday against the fighting TCU Horned Frogs. But Georgia, number 1, I have no problem with that at all. They're on the road against Auburn, on the road against Tennessee. That will probably be their most difficult game of the season on November 18th. Let me know what you believe. What do you think about this top 25 from Action Network? Brett McMurphy, the way too early top 25. I would have had Notre Dame ranked higher. I would have them probably number 8. I'd probably have Ohio State ranked a little bit lower. And I have no problems with USC coming in at 15. Give me your thoughts, again, in the comments section. Let's get to the latest steam on Jim Harbaugh just very quickly here. We're not going to talk about the allegations of Michigan. That has been widely covered. I think they're going to probably be minor infractions. However, again, the steam about Jim Harbaugh possibly going to the NFL. Again, this is the Michigan insider, Sam Webb. One agent explained the current sentiment about Harbaugh in NFL circles and why it's different this year. Quote, his resume is better, the agent said. He did it twice now with two different quarterbacks and without Aiden and Ajabo and Dax Hill. There's more interest because of that. There's also more interest because the Colts are in play. The feeling that last year was Irsay is the only owner crazy enough to give him a shot. Now it doesn't seem so crazy. Now the feeling is if you want him, you better get him before Irsay does. All that being said, Harbaugh's assurance about his desire to continue coaching Michigan to key members of the Michigan program early in the week and his public statement to that effect yesterday both came with the full knowledge of the NCAA inquiries. That continues to foster confidence within several team sources about the likelihood of him remaining at the helm of Ann Arbor. I have my doubts that Jim Harbaugh is going to stay at Michigan because it's so easy for him to say, I'm staying at Michigan. I'm staying at Michigan with the boosters sitting on the fence. And that's been reported as well, holding back some NIL money, seeing if Jim Harbaugh is going to return. And if he doesn't, who would replace him? In this day and age, the quickening has happened. You have to make your decisions. Jim Harbaugh stringing Michigan along only hurts Michigan. Jim Harbaugh has yet to say, I'm staying at Michigan. That is it. That is over. The thoughts of me returning to the NFL is over. He hasn't said those words. And why hasn't he said those words? In my opinion, is because he wants to get back to the NFL. And if the right job offer is there, in other words, if he gets an offer from the Colts or the Broncos, he'll take the best one. He has gone to the NFL. That is my opinion. What is yours? Put them in the comment section below the video. Jim Harbaugh to Indianapolis doesn't sound crazy to me at all. Penn State Nittany Lions winning the Big Ten Championship in 2023 doesn't seem crazy to me at all. And Florida State Seminoles getting to the college football 4-team invitational 2023. Yeah, that sounds about right. Am I crazy? Possibly. Until next time, from all of us that peek around the corner to all of you, please, you all take care of each other. Thank you very much.